you guys lit up the comments on one of the last videos about the worst Porsches to buy right now. The consensus was that I am fear-mongering because the 911 failure rate is only 3%. But here's the math the lucky 97% are ignoring. In the investment world, a 3% chance of a 50% loss of principal isn't a reliable asset. It is a high-risk gamble. Today, we're going to look at why the Porsche market is currently a survivor bias trap for anyone who doesn't have a $25,000 contingency fund. If you're buying a 997.1 today, you aren't just buying a car. You're underwriting a contingent liability. To understand why that 3% figure is so dangerous, we have to talk about survivor bias. This is a logical error where you focus on the people who made it through a selection process and overlook those who didn't. In the Porsche world, the survivors are the ones posting on the forums. They are the guys with 120,000 miles on an original IMS bearing, who swear the cars are bulletproof. They scream the loudest because their experience was positive. But the guys who suffered a catastrophic engine failure at 40,000 miles usually don't hang around the enthusiast groups. They sell the shell to a dismantler, take their $30,000 loss, and buy a Corvette. They disappear from the dataset. The market has information asymmetry. The seller knows if they cold started this car in a Chicago winter for 5 years, you, the buyer, only sees the 3% average on a forum. You aren't just buying a car. You're providing free insurance to the person selling it. When you look at the Eisen class action lawsuit and PCA data, that 3% number starts to look like a very convenient lie. It is a blended rate. It mixes the large 2006 through 2008 bearings, which actually are quite reliable, with the single row bearings found in the 2000 to 2005 cars. If you isolate that single row bearing, the failure rate jumps to 8%. That is no longer a rounding error. That is a 1 in 12 chance of total mechanical heart failure. If I told you that 1 out of every 12 times you started your car, there was a chance the engine would turn into a $15,000 pile of scrap metal, you wouldn't call that car reliable. You would call it a ticking time bomb. Then we have to address the 3.8-liter M97 engine in the 997.1 Carrera S. The forums love to quote a low incidence of bore scoring, but Flat 6 Innovations and PCA have shown that this risk is geographically clustered. If you live in Florida or Southern California, your risk might actually be near zero. But if you're looking at a car that spent a decade being cold started in Chicago, Toronto, or Stockholm, your risk profile isn't 3%. It's likely north of 10%. Cold piston slap against a freezing cylinder wall creates a specific type of wear that the average statistic completely ignores. Averages are for people who don't understand how to manage a balance sheet. Let's look at the total loss scenario. You find a clean 997.1 Carrera S for $52,000. It looks perfect. You skip the bore scope because the owner says it's never had an issue. 6 months later, you hear the ticking. You are now looking at a $30,000 rebuild. Suddenly, you are $82,000 into a car that is only worth $55,000 on its best day. You have wiped out $27,000 of equity in a single afternoon. Compare that to a 997.2 safety buy at $85,000. The 997.2 has no IMS and the MA1 engine rarely scores. In 3 years, that 997.2 is still worth $80,000. Your net cost of ownership was $5,000. The 997.1 gambler, meanwhile, is underwater by nearly $30,000. The market currently treats the 997.1 like a safe bet because the entry price is lower, but it hasn't actually priced in the risk premium. In any other financial instrument, a 3% risk of a 50% loss of principal would require a massive discount to attract a rational buyer. But because of survivor bias and forum anecdotes, people are paying near-peak prices for unhedged risks. You are essentially providing free insurance to the seller. You're taking on 100% of the mechanical liability, while paying 90% of the perfect car price. That isn't being an enthusiast. That is being a bad actuary. If you want to play this game and actually win, you have to stop thinking about lap times and start thinking about the spread. You have to price the car based on the worst case scenario, not the 97% hope. The rational way to approach this market isn't to avoid the risk entirely. It's to price that risk into the purchase before you sign the title. You have to stop looking at the sticker price as a fixed cost and start looking at the delta between the car in front of you and the car that is actually safe to own. I call this the 20K rule. A 997.1 is only a logical financial move if it sits at least $20,000 below a comparable 997.2. That 20 grand spread is your self-insurance. It's the rebuild tax that the market tries to hide. If a 997.1 is listed for $60,000 and a similar 997.2 is $75,000, the math fails. You are paying a premium for a liability. You're essentially buying a house on a floodplain for the same price as a house on a hill. But there is a way to flip the script. I call it the discount build strategy. Instead of hunting for the lowest mileage, most expensive 997.1 you can find, you go to the opposite direction. You look for a high mileage, mechanically honest car for $35,000. You buy that car at a deep discount and immediately send it to a specialist like Flat 6 Innovations or Slacker Racing for a $30,000 4.0 liter Nicky's sleeved rebuild. If you buy a 997.1 at full market price, you are gambling. If you buy a ticking 997.1 for $35,000 and rebuild it, you have de-risked the asset. You now own a $75,000 car for $65,000. That's not a repair, that's an arbitrage play. Every dollar you spent on that engine is captured equity because the next buyer knows the 3% gamble has been removed from the equation. If you aren't willing to do that, you need to look at the GT threshold. If you find yourself looking at a 997.2 GTS and the price tag is creeping toward $120,000, you have reached the point of diminishing returns. At that level, you are paying for rarity and enthusiast spec. But you're still operating within a standard production engine architecture. For that same $120,000, you can buy a 996 GT3. The Metzger engine in that car is a completely different animal. It has a true dry sump system and 0% IMS or bore scoring risk. It is a racing engine adapted for the street. Buying a Metzger-powered car at that price point is a hedge. You're moving your capital from a speculative asset into a blue-chip collectible, with a mechanical guarantee that the standard Carrera simply cannot offer. Then there is the 991.2 Carrera. At $95,000, you can often find these with a CPO warranty. This creates what I call a warranty floor. You know exactly what your maximum exposure is for the duration of that coverage. You aren't lying awake at night wondering if a cold morning in your driveway is going to cost you half the value of the car. The 991.2 might not have the hydraulic steering feel of the 997, but from a balance sheet perspective, it is a fortress. You're paying for peace of mind, and in the world of high-performance German engineering, peace of mind has a very specific dollar value. If you can't find a 997 that fits the 20K rule, the 991.2 is the logical escape hatch for your capital. To navigate this successfully, you need a framework. I use a 4-point risk calculator to evaluate every potential Porsche purchase. The inputs are simple: purchase price, location, PPI results, and reserve fund. If you skip even one of these, the math breaks. The most common mistake is skipping the $500 bore scope. Spending $500 to avoid a $30,000 mistake is the highest return on investment you will ever see. If a seller won't let you pull the spark plugs and look at the cylinder walls, walk away. They are selling you their problem. This creates 3 tiers of buyers. First, the hedged investor. They bought correctly and have a $30,000 reserve. They enjoy the car because the risk is accounted for. Second, the rational buyer. They used the discount build strategy to eliminate failure points. Their risk is zero. Finally, the gambler. They are all in on the 3% hope with no contingency plan. They are one bad oil analysis away from financial ruin. The 3% myth keeps 997.1 prices artificially high. It creates a floor of demand based on a misunderstanding of probability, turning the car into a value trap. Because people believe failure is rare, they pay prices that don't account for the downside. This is how bubbles form. When the unlikely event happens, forum statistics don't pay the invoice. Your bank account does. The deal isn't the car with the lowest price. It's the car with the lowest unhedged risk. If you can't afford the rebuild, you can't afford the car. The math doesn't have an ego. It only cares about the numbers. If you lack a $25,000 reserve for that 997.1, you aren't an enthusiast. You're a gambler. To the people in the comments calling this fear-mongering, math doesn't have an ego. It doesn't care about your brand loyalty. If you can't afford the $30,000 entry fee to the 3% club, you shouldn't be in the club. Your balance sheet will thank me later. Drop your emergency fund number in the comments below. Do you have the cash or the courage? Subscribe for more data-driven market analysis. Check out my 996 GT3 deep dive next to see where the real safety lives.